Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here for Phase 2, Week 7. It's day number 3 of the week. And I really enjoyed our previous our couch segment, of course. You know, Dave on his outro, talking about all of these fantastic coaches, tell all the titles, and then he said, thank you, Avenger from the desk. No titles for Avenger, no nothing, just...
I'm titleless.
You're Avenger from the desk.
Avenger from the desk.
I'm just Avenger.
There you go. Gentlemen, excited to be here, final day of the week.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, there's so much to be said about this week already, and I think we're going to be closing out today and making it even more exciting. I'm really hoping to see some really good games. I'm hoping to see some more ENCE wins, and I'm also hoping to see FaZe do extremely well. So the top 3, the top 4 gets close enough that everything is going to be decided in the last week.
This week has been super surprisingly so far. I mean, you have Vitality in the top.
Yeah.
You have Navi currently on 11th place this weekend. This is by far the worst week they've had. And then you have all the teams that is in the bottom of the leaderboard. They're doing super good as well. And I mean, we're gonna have a fight on the top. If G2 can play a little bit better, they're gonna be contesting for that #1 spot.
Absolutely. Let's break that down a little bit for title contention here for Phase 2, because we keep talking about all of these borders, be it 5th and 6th, be it 12th to 13th, etc. But realistically speaking, people want to be the champion here when it comes to Phase 2 for PUBG Europe League. So Navi has not had the best of weeks. Talk to me about that, Martin, and what you've kind of seen, how Navi's been playing out this week relative to the other weeks, because they've been phenomenal in the other ones.
Well, for me, there's multiple things to it. First of all, there's them not getting a podium finish here in Week 7 would be devastating to me, because they've been performing extremely well.
Yeah.
And now that we're going close to GLL, our hope, our true tradition as a tradition that we would have a team from the European region that is also from the Russian CS. We can win that would have been amazing as well.
Yeah.
Also to secure a spot. But how they have been playing so far this week is it's kind of surprising to me. And I heard some of the players talk about it out there. They call it they're choking.
I mean, they're definitely like choking a little bit. They are kind of sending it to the center now for some reason.
Yeah, they're changing
in
their
a lot of the
strategy.
games. Yeah, they're changing it up 2 weeks before. Maybe they're just trying something out because they feel like, all right, we got a huge lead, we got some time, we can try something out, see if this works, because we're about to go to GLL after this, straight after PL,
right.
And we don't have much time to change anything from them. This is also the best practice you can get to actually try something new.
But do you want to throw a whole... I don't think it's the right time to do it. I think you should do that in the middle.
Well,
like Liquid did it actually, and Tanner and 17, their coach, talked about and said, you know, we're trying some different stuff, because right now everybody's kind of copying how Liquid has been doing so far. So you need to be ahead of the curve.
Well, look at it though. They still have a 29-point lead here.
Yeah.
So it means they still have a small
they have a cushion,
step ahead.
But that lead was almost doubled coming into the week.
Yeah, and so they use that now. And the question is, will they go back to the old playstyle and try to recover?
Of course, there was a lot of movements from 9th to 16th, but in our top 8, not as much movement, but the gaps are closing and the gaps are widening in other locations.
And also, like, this whole week has been kind of putting 16s into a box and just like raffling out who's wins, who's getting a lot in terms of placement. Not because of how they play in terms of placement, because it's extremely even right now.
Yeah.
Our leader has 73. The bottom team has 28 points. So it's very linear, but it's also very, very close. I don't think saying Navi is 11th right now this week makes it justice, because they're only 20 points behind 3rd.
Didn't
it's
we
one
expect
good
that?
game. No, not really. But also, like, in Week 7, you have the lead.
Yes.
Trying something new. Like, all I can say is, don't fix it if it ain't broken. Everything they've been doing so far has been working extremely well. Yes, their strategy will give them more bad games, but it will also give them more very good games.
I feel like trying out 1-2 days here, it's not a bad thing. If you have the lead, you have the capacity to actually do it.
Right.
Now, it doesn't really work for them. We've seen that the past 2 days. So it's time to change it back. Don't do it anymore. Go back to the old playstyle, because that worked phenomenally, and they were just dominating everyone.
Yeah.
Here's ENCE as well, as they wiping the sweat off the brow briefly for a moment, maybe. And they should be doing after a pretty successful week so far when it comes to the chicken dinners that they've been able to accrue. We did see in the standings that they've moved up a place or two when it came to actually trying to push themselves out of relegation as well. So if they continue on that path and they feel that they've got themselves some confidence, Martin, they should be sitting okay.
Yeah, and on top of that, honestly, we talked about it on the couch a little bit here, and what ENCE has been doing and how their playstyle is the same that they did in Phase 1. They're playing Edge. There's multiple other teams doing that as well, so they just have to accept that they will have bad games. I just want to see a few more good games from them, and they might even, as Sensei said, go into the top 8 and go into the prize pool, because I think that's their ultimate ambition right now.
All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Time to get into game number 81. The countdown is now truly on for all of these teams to try and accrue points, find themselves the right spot on the leaderboard and challenge up at the top for the championship here in Phase 2. Time to head it over to Pansy and Sims for all of the action.
Game 81. What an absolute marathon this has been. These teams are really going to have to dig deep to keep themselves going at that highest level here, Rich. And, you know, 4 more games to go today, and then not long until the end of this entire phase.
But that is the positive of this phase, right? It is a marathon. It's not a race. There's still time to catch up. There's still time to get out of the relegation zone. Still time to get in the money. I think it's getting difficult now to get to GLL if you're not already there. Certainly,
I tend to agree.
One of the more disappointing factors. Raise your edge. The chase was on. They was on the tail edge of TSM.
Yep.
So far this week, we've seen TSM averaging 6th place, 52 points. Raise your edge. It's been a very, very poor performance for the last 2 days. They're currently 16th on average with only 20 kills and 8 points from placement.
Yeah, not good. Not a good week at all. Bit of a shame because they were, as you said, on the trajectory for maybe doing some damage there. And I think TSM had to, you know, pull the old bootstraps up and really get back to work. Now, beyond that, though, speaking of GLL, see you there, buddy.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be
I
right
like Sweden.
Good. I do as well. Meatballs.
IKEA
Max Burger. IKEA meatballs actually slap. Well, let's be honest.
It was
Should never
Froz
say
who actually...
and slap in the same sentence.
Well, it's not quite the prison soccer you wanted, but it is heading that way. Positive thing, at least the play and path were down in the south.
Yeah, at least it will help some of the teams out who would normally go pretty far away. Winstrike's pretty happy with that one as well. They're not too bad off. FaZe, super happy.
Big old chunk of map missing, though. Look at that hillside.
Yeah, but honestly, we've seen these circles that just still sit along that hillside for so long. I know they're meant to eventually move away, but they can stick there for some time. So I feel like this is one of those that FaZe should not let go of. But you never know. You absolutely never know. They've had moments of greatness and also a couple of slip-ups here and there. But we'll be looking at the teams that start off, obviously, in the West to have that advantage, the pick of the bunch, see where they go, see where they take it. Team Liquid, I'd like to see them doing a little bit more late game. They've been kind of pushing back up there now. I'd like to see them picking up that sort of pace on Miramar. They're a very, very talented team, and I want to see more of that here.
Winstrike should go up to El Pozo. Shouldn't be an issue for them. Uber might extend a little bit towards them, not too far though away from Monte Nuevo. These kind of games are the ones that we see usually DA doing pretty well. It's their home territory. If the circle does come more towards the south, they can take the darker hills. There is that compounds on like a very well-defended plateau area with a bit of a ridge line running around it, mainly the fact that it's an uphill battle and a struggle to interject yourself into that fight if you want to take it off DA. Should it go more towards the north, FaZe are going to be laughing. The hardest word on this map for me to personally say it, Ladrillia, I believe it is, Ladrilera.
Drill.
Toby's going to be very triggered at me for completely blundering that one. But
Reddit
certainly
threads galore.
between Monte Nuevo and that city, it's usually good for them, and it's actually plumb centre to be fair. But that doesn't say everything. Again, with that hillside on the west being in, we can only assume that it plays the same way the water does with the land ratio settings, maybe around circle 4, but again with the tendencies, water, cities, and then inaccessible areas, generally speaking, bumps away from it. So we can have a best guesstimation where the circle will go, but from what we've seen so far in all the leagues between 1 and 4, it's fair game to anybody. It can just ping pong left and right, hard shift all over.
We saw a lot of hard shifts yesterday as well. There was plenty. It wasn't just Miramar. Even Erangel had a good few. You think about that Severny northern circle at the end there. That was, you know, really bouncing around. So we saw some very curious endings. Miramar had its fair share when it was up in the north. So I do wonder how that's going to play out. If we see more of that, who really suffers off the back of it, who really comes to the forefront. We saw, Razor Edge really struggling to get themselves into the circle there. They got punished by it.
Isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of the teams who played a little late did suffer. Obviously, G2 showing how good they are when they can supersede that, but still, it's not... God, who's found free cam here today? It looks like someone's, sat there with a little PlayStation controller. They're loving the observing today, aren't we? Very cinematic.
We're just giving you a quick overview of NIP.
To be fair, I don't normally see the game looking like this. I don't know half the decals or posters on these buildings because honestly, mine just looks like smeared dirt. I have on the worst settings. I've got a sick PC sit there with like dirt setting.
Lauren on 600 FPS.
640 by 480. I'm having a great time.
Playing PUBG in 8-bit.
I would if I could, honestly. I'm still in that habit, right? It's like most people who used to play games back in the day, or even CS players, whoever you are, you're just so used to cranking the graphics down so low. So it's quite interesting to see some of these players actually play on decent settings. You can get a little bit more visibility in some way. You can tweak it around to certain aspects. It does seem as though Liquid have just kind of warded off FaZe Clan, so they pushed them away. Tab tried to move up towards Bestilosh, and that never seems to go well. But yeah, I know a lot of people now are starting to play with like higher textures because you can actually see it almost crisper. Otherwise, it blurs in with some, especially the trees and such. Yeah. Anyway, that aside, we'll see if anyone else gets called out in these rotations. There's probably going to be a bit of a congested route in the northeast, just because G2, TSM, NIP, and Vitality are over that side. Razor Edge, Reciprocity, and ENCE going more southern approach. But everyone, there's that slice of a hillside, or two, should I say. One that's kind of northeast of Valdemar and one that's slightly northwest. It's the kind of the two hills that run straight up from it, almost running parallel to themselves. You can see it there. It's where FaZe, DA, and M19 are. I think Liquid are going to go to the one slightly towards the west, just as viable. But teams have already got the priority areas.
You could have decided not to hold fort down at Montenueva and go deeper towards the west. That's fine because that position gives them an area to springboard. Anywhere really off the back of the circle, no matter which way it moves. This road behind them will be very clear unless a team like Winstrike wants to go super deep up against the wall. There is a crate there. I doubt anyone will be going for it. You'd only get lucky. I mean, it's a desperation move to go up against that wall. You're just trying to find some level of cover if a team holds you out in the open.
M19 do it, or Winstrike, if they've come in late, even though they have good shots towards that western side, they might opt for it. I think Winstrike could head down that way. There's enough kind of bits and pieces you can play from. It's again, it's just not ideal.
The problem is now is that Liquid have already seen them, so they can put a lot of pressure on them to box them into a corner, and unfortunately they just have to batten down the hatches and barricade yourself in there and hope. No one, well, you don't hope anyone's going to come your way because no one's going to cross the street. There's absolutely no point. It's just a dead zone. It's difficult terrain to move from, and that's why Liquid haven't gone that deeper. They've just sat there because they can use the roads to either run north or run south. There's no need to run to the east, so to speak, because you've got this hillside, you've got this huge drop-off to the city and the valleys below.
CrowCrowd are in a bit of a predicament. You've got Na'Vi behind you, which they already lost the tab to Bestilosh. You've got Unity in front of you. Quite unsafe for them, quite hard terrain. And yeah, Senya's seen that, so they've kind of been forced to try and move back, maybe find a little bit of cover on the defilade, but look how open that terrain is. I don't know if Senpai can get away from it. No, he can't. So big loss early on, 2 players being swept aside. Not what you want to be seeing. The Knights catching a glimpse at Vitality heading through, just popping shots at those cars coming out. And ENCE are getting quite close towards that Unity CrowCrowd area, so ENCE could pull up towards the eastern side of Tumasera. But whether or not they commit to it, they can go wherever they want. They don't have to go super central. That's something that won't be at the forefront of their minds. But everyone should be pretty much safe within this circle. You can't prioritize those central compounds anymore. It's getting too late. Look at Bestilosh pre-aiming the car's driver's seat, waiting to see if he does decide to get in towards it, maybe make a quick dash. It's always nice to see how these guys play. God, it's so good.
Might be able to hit the head here. Nope. It's the reverse and hits the foot on the pedal, and a little bit of a lack of commitment, I want to say. You need to find a place that you want to go commit to it as a team of 4, and then
it's got to be worthwhile, right?
Yeah, you just got to make sure you stay alive really through it, and if you have to fight, you have to fight. It's simple as that. But you need if you aren't going to fight, you need your whole team there. Set, I get it. Sometimes you do lose. You scout. That's what he's there for. It's always better to lose one individual player rather than your whole entire team just pull up on a compound and die on arrival. That's fine. But then when the rest of them are kind of scattered and wondering what to do and where to go, I mean, hell, Set and Kemba still far apart from him. They could get split. Central.
Slap bang.
Okay.
So all the teams
That's
have
pretty
read this
good.
very well. Interesting route from Asia Edge. They could get caught by Reciprocity coming across that bridge. I don't know how quick Reciprocity are going to move up. The compound's just north of Valdemar, you know, the kind of, let's say, the crossroads, just slightly further up from this. Not the first set, the second. Can be a nice little place to kind of put yourself. I think Scream might be looking at that one now. You can see that icon off just to the right. Actually going to head further forward, so they're maybe going to try and move up in towards the hillside. It can house plenty of teams. Monte Nuevo, lots of room. Kane's in danger, actually. He's just been scouting around. If you're looking at G2, Kane will be trying to scout. He does have the vehicle to do it, so why not try and push set back, maybe open up some room for themselves.
Covering fire for Kane. Gets off the vehicle and can heal himself back up shortly. Nice bit of overwatch there from G2. Defend their teammate. Winstrike have moved closer. It looks like they've had the same idea as Liquid. Again, Liquid in the position they were, they can just now run the hillside ridges and watch one way. James has run over Ibby.
I don't know. I wonder if there's been any indicator that Winstrike know that's Team Liquid up there. I don't know if they do. If they do,
now, you know?
they're probably going to push this.
They'll see
This
the
is actually very dangerous. Gemty might miss this as well. Yeah, the angle's not good for Gemty. This is punishment time. They do get the revive, but it's instantly going to be pushed even further by losing out on Gemty completely. The flush is instantaneous, and yet no time for healing. Winstrike, the timing is so perfect for them. If he's down to nothing, desperately wants to get a heal off, but he's done for. This is big work from Winstrike. Played it very well and cleared it as they went. I think Samty's your last man alive, and keep a little bit of a reminder yourself, Razor Edge weren't far, but I think they've got other targets in mind. But Liquid have just been shattered by a real mistake there.
Matrim made a bit of a comment in the GLL videos. Liquid, you know, they might have one player left that can go and lay down in the game and try and vie for points. It does tend to be Samty, and unfortunately for Liquid, it is that scenario. Even hunker down, Richard, and just hope for the best.
A broken clock can be correct a couple of times a day. Let's be honest here. Let's not give any credit in analysis.
Are we not allowed to give anything?
No.
No? Okay.
Absolutely not.
Sorry, Mother. I do apologise.
EU is all we support.
I mean, I suppose you do have to play the game to actually know about it. That's a different question altogether. Razor Edge have managed to get inside of the circle, which I'm surprised they run the gauntlet and Rek was up on the hills. All four up as well, and vehicles, so pretty good for them. Rek have gone more towards the south. I'm okay with that. No one's behind them. No one's going to come out of Valdemar. Na'Vi didn't have too much of an adjustment. I can just try and keep what's left, I want to say, of CrowCrowd, one player, Kemba, holding on for dear life. G2 also advancing on his position, so maybe they want to clear him out, take over the control of that hillside, and then advance forward. The Knights have gone, again, polar opposite to Reciprocity. They're just not quite playing edge, but certainly out in the open. Udia. Kemba's picking up points.
Yeah, G2 looking like they're struggling to find a way in here. I think Set got called off earlier by Chris. There was that bit of a trade out. But yeah, this is getting pretty messy already. It's surprising seeing G2 lose out on players this early on. It's very uncharacteristic of them. But CrowCrowd, or what's left of CrowCrowd, is in a very awkward position. Maybe they just simply didn't expect Kemba to be there. You know, it is what it is. It's hard to kind of spot out those one-man snakes almost, or just those isolated players. So Kemba's going to try and find a new way around. Beautiful driving, lovely parking, and we're away. Northern-ish circle, still clipping Monte Nuevo into this.
Liquid had the right idea. It was just a rather unfortunate bit of time in there. Winstrike also on the same path. They turn up at the right time after the knock comes through with the vehicle. Catches him with the nade because he's got 10% HP. Follows through, and you saw the rest of the story unfold before your eyes. This would have been a fantastic position for them. Instead, it'll be Winstrike who can advance forward and claim the hillside for themselves. Need to be aware that Samty's still lingering in the distance. You've just seen what a solo can do from Kemba's POV. NIP will be further down the hill on the roadside. And this is where all these teams now will focus themselves closer and closer to the middle because of that road, because of the valley. You can take as many vehicles as you like and try and be as defensive as you like, but coming down that hillside, it's rough terrain, and there's going to be so many people just waiting with open arms at the bottom, ready to receive you, and just open fire with the ARs. Remember, it's quite simple. And as I say that, this is what you have to expect coming down these hills.
And Na'Vi have gone out. They've gone out to try and save this. This could be a mistake from Na'Vi, a rarity at best, but this should be punished. Yeah, Unity are there to mop this one up. Senya's gone. That's going to be flushed. I don't know if Pokemordoy's got much luck in this one either. Remember, Reciprocity are up on the top of that hill. If they peek over, they can maybe steal some of these kills. This is bad from Na'Vi.
And Dooz is not out of it yet. He thought it was hidden. Hax might have him dead to rights. Good read from Hax to as they try to shoot
Oh,
through the
that shot was
smoke.
beautiful from Shiv as well. The headshot there. Stolen, though.
They have been aware, though. I like this. They're still looking behind them. Rec do not want to get stabbed in the back because with that M24, you are making a lot of noise and ringing a bell on alert that everyone else can hear. We'll see if these other kills can be stolen by Rec. A few points would be needed and would be nice for them. Dizarin continues to clean up what had already keep what you kill, so to speak. A doozy hiding in the smoke with the SLR. He's free for the taking, to be fair. Both Shiv and Hanks with the long-range weapons, SLR and M24 should get the job done.
Did you just quote Riddick?
I did.
Great film.
Fantastic,
Was it
isn't
Pitch
it?
Black? Pitch Dark? I can't remember the name of it. Pitch Black, right? Is the other one?
Chronicles of Riddick. And Pitch Black, yes.
That's the one.
There is another. I say there is a new one we spoke about. It's not so long back, but it wasn't very fun.
Great.
No. Bokamolodoy finally does bleed out, but again from the knock that will go towards, I believe he was knocked by Unity. CrowCrowd does go down. ENCE, where's that kicking around? Have they advanced forward? Yes, they have. Now this could be an interesting fight, actually, looking at the map. Rustenmar's got ahead of the game, so to speak, when we look towards TSM, and TSM are going slow on the circle. They're playing edge all the way on the east. If they come forward and ENCE regroup, could have a bit of a fight on his hands.
Well, the thing with context is that Vitality were fighting TSM out on the east for some time. Vitality have disengaged. They have other targets in mind. Snark's holding the compound, and Reels was there. So it looks like Vitality have swept this one aside. Na'Vi have gone down. That was a huge mistake for them. I don't know what happened that meant that Pokémon got out of the car then. I really am unsure. But TSM were hindered by Vitality. And now ENCE have crept out of Vincere, and they've kind of caught the tail end of TSM trying to regather themselves together. So I wonder how this one's going to play out. Already Truffelli going to find Gustav. That's not a good start for TSM here. He was their point man in this.
Nuki continues the onslaught of Team Liquid, so Winstrike, fin-on-fin action there, but they've been spotted by FaZe Clan. They're not safe. Move on board with TSM out in the open, trying to get off the res. Rustamar overextends and overpeaks just a little bit too far. Gets punished for it for now. Grenades will continue onwards, try and force back anyone else who's behind that angle. Squeaky's going for the off side. But as soon as he goes round there, there will be a bit of a call from the teammates that have fallen. They'll feed that information back. Raise your edge, finding Wreck. That's an interesting one. Where's that happening? Okay, so they've gone central of the map. They've actually pulled up on Raise Your Edge.
It's a 2-2. Raise Your Edge actually only have 2 players here, so if they can hold on to this, it'd be very impressive. Menox has done well to dig in deep and catch Scoom, but the nade coming out from Sigsy gets Axetti. This is bad from Reciprocity.
Gone. Wow.
Down in 13th. Well held by the 2 players. Sigsy and Menox held that perfectly.
Huh. Quite literally just grenaded the living hell out of them. Flush the buildings, job done. Bye-bye Rack, unfortunate for them. Raise Your Edge, continue onwards. Good points that they were needing today. Again, they're coming into this Sunday, ranked 16th of week number 7. So placement and points is exactly what they need. Tyres go on the back of Chris's vehicle. You can see it bobbing, bumping all over the place. He's making it work for now. There is a bit of trail smoke on there, so it is damaged. But he will get himself in. So he is at a building.
Wow, that was a bit risky.
Not inside the circle. It's still going to be a long drive in the blue.
Yeah, it is. And now the back tire's spun out. There it goes. Chris is in danger here. I think he knows it. Tixu's committed to this one. But Chris can bang these shots, so don't underestimate him when it comes to that. But he's got that blue run. This bit of a deflate might keep him safe. I don't know how much vision Winstrike's going to get down towards that. And I think Tixu's going to back away for the greater good of the team anyway. He has to rejoin the rest of the gang, Jawski and co. They're further down south away from him. ENCE are just having a little nap, little dirt nap. They managed to disengage from TSM. They're in between TSM and Unity, still out on the eastern side.
Circle's looking really good for FaZe here. They've won plenty of these off the back of their position where they are now. Move on board with Vitality. Fights on all fronts. Everyone's rotating around them. G2 on the backside. TSM creeping up the hill slowly. It looks like G2 might actually commit to this. Chris is completely disengaged for them again. That was with the vehicle going down earlier. So he's polar opposite. 2-man band going up against Vitality. The question is on the eastern side, who sees who first? You've got a trifecta of fights. G2, Vitality, TSM, 2-2 versus 4.
But if you look at the terrain that Vitality is standing, you've got to feel they have at least the upper hand. Yeah, for now. We are going to see Chris on the breach, and this man is a danger. He is a threat, and MBS needs to be careful. MBS does have support. You can see Vard and Miraku responding, but a good read from Chris, but not good enough. Miraku delivers the bullets. You can see the damage done, but he couldn't claim those kills. He couldn't get those knocks that he wanted. Maybe he could have stood a chance if he got one down, open up more angles, but wasn't to be. He was left with limited options. The vehicle did spin out earlier, so he was kind of isolated from the rest of his side.
Speaking of isolated, dreaded and wanted last 2 from the Knights, losing 2 earlier on. I didn't see if it was a pull-up or a push by Vitality, where they did fall. Circle updates, it goes to the west. Winstrike still in, raise your edge. Not quite central, but certainly in a decent position. Mexi has left FaZe Clan on his own to go and collect the crate. That'll be a Mark 14 in the back of that bad boy. We'll see if he does work with it or pass it on to someone like Buzzface, more known for his marksmanship skills. 6-Mo and Corp, DA, they're happy. They have the major priority compound in this circle. M19, Unity, all still to make a move down in the south.
That's a nice nade from Shadow. That's G2 again, finding it hard to find ways in here. You can see that high ground really complementing Vitality for now. Kane's still standing for G2, but I'm pretty sure he's your last man alive. TSM just further south of it as ENCE try and make their move. They come under severe fire from Unity, and I'm pretty sure that vehicle, is very much done for. Smoke by smoke, they try and work their way forward, but it's not a fun run here. You do have a lot of ground to cover. Now, M19 have started to engage as well. That's towards Blaston, who's trying to get up closer towards ENCE.
He just needs to be really careful that he doesn't get too overzealous and gets hit from the back. If he decides to drive by them, he'll be open to multiple angles from multiple teams, and he's dead. Okay, well, it didn't work. I get what he was trying to do. Maybe get a foothold in the circle, or maybe just get a new angle on ENCE to pick up some points. But by doing so, M19 and TSM can see you, and you will be exposed. All of Unity have now committed to the cause. They're in the vehicle, and they have to make a move, and that's exactly what they're doing. This gives ENCE a bit of breathing room, but not without cause. There's still danger in the mist, and that's going to be Vitality up on that higher end, the pivotal hill, which will give them it. I'll tell you what, Unity still fancy them in that they've not gone for the circle. They're actually going for the kills here.
Yeah, they're gatekeeping, and they could get a great deal of points if it works out for them. ENCE coming their way as a TSM. We'll see if they can hold the line. They do have an advantageous spot, but there is fire coming in. There are nades coming in. Tripoli taking the low ground, but gets spotted by Orange. Trade available for Mikas, but the nade from Rory. It's TSM coming into the mix. ENCE goes down, and we're a TSM in this. Rory and Michael looking a little bit further north, maybe not feeling like they want to get past Unity, maybe look for other options while that knocks in play. But Vitality have spread slightly further south as well, so there's so many more teams looking towards this side, but Rory's nades!
Well, I mean, TSM were punished by grenades yesterday. Now it's their turn. There's plenty of kills in the bag already. The big issue now is what's in front of them. Nasus and a partner.
Wait, Gaxi? Oh no, I thought Gaxi was about to send it right in towards FaZe. He didn't in the end. This is Wanted. I mean, a lot of visual name. That's from Vitality, and FaZe will probably turn to see it, and FaZe will get it.
Just be aware that Vitality are taking 2 battles on 2 fronts. They've gone into a 2-2 split. There might be a call here to regroup. Shadow falls back, half HP, and actually Nasus damaged
nice
also.
nade.
I didn't see this, but look. The return is here. All the team is gathering their resources to take this fight. This is a really good play. Really, really good IGL work coming out of Vitality.
Yeah, this could work perfectly for them if TSM keep going this way, but they've got other things to worry about. You had Unity now pushing their back, but TSM know there's a time limit on how long they can stay on that hillside because Vitality are going to start peeking that ridge. So Rory and Michael need to make up their mind. Where do you want to take this fight? What do you want to do? Because the nade, you can see him with Vitality and Dastish. A bit of a nuke's about to land towards the TSM boys, and Dastish's nade is good for Michael. Now, Rory, last man standing for TSM. He's got Jazzer up on top of the hill as well. Shadow's down there, but it's Tizzer in to take out TSM.
Remove them from this position, but by exposing yourself there, I think that was a bit of a ballsy play. You're a 2-man band, and you know that Vitality's kicking it up here. You could have held down for a second, got the gear from the body boxes, taken whatever utilities left over from those fights. Now you're in a position where Vitality know exactly where you are, and they'll set up on this main road because there's only one road which basically leads into the circle for them. So I've been a bit over-aggressive. They may have punished themselves. Winstrike vehicles are up. It's time to send it, boys. He's been smacked in the face.
Oh,
and
that
off
was
the back.
rough.
Oh, they're gone.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
there they go. Bit of a hard run. I think everyone's now suffering. Anyone who was on the outskirts who didn't move in earlier has now got everyone looking their way. M19 are going to have a bit of that. It was Elite Player who was out slightly further east, south of DA. The other part of M19 is working up towards Raise Your Edge. That might be in the kill feed too. Up in the north, NIP went a little bit earlier. They went a little bit sooner. Gaxi pushed over towards that side of the road. So it has given them that foothold, and they have got the rest of the team there. Not going to be an easy take, though, with FaZe and 8C positioning on the circle. Again, if you guys are at home, make sure you open up that map stream so you can keep that full idea of what's going on.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for FaZe Clan. They have to defend this compound with their life. Vitality have taken foothold on top of a hill, though, and they are peppering him in the back and pot shots, so they need to make sure that when they go after, or if they go after NIP for the defense, they don't expose themselves. Otherwise...
Oh, if Wanderer had a nade hit.
Camera could pop them in the back of the head. Wanderer approaching this building while the res is actually...
He's going to see that.
Jump.
That's a shot.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to jump. That's a big problem for Razor Edge. I don't think they realized how close they were. Trying to switch to an A, doesn't have one. But he is very close by. Chris with the peek and gets punished. How is he alive after that sort of stuff? He denied the points.
Yeah, well, no, because he knocked him, so it's not a denial, to be fair.
Maybe he just missed the nade.
I think it was an accidental nade, that one.
That is interesting, isn't it?
We need him in the face. Oh, that's from a different angle. Oh, same scenario as yesterday. Razor Edge has been peppered from 2 different angles by 2 different teams. Oof, that's brutal. Oh well, these things happen, and when you're playing on the edge like that in a very small compound, that's the only thing left in the circle, you have to expect it.
FaZe, they've got the circle again. FaZe and NIP are trying to live kind of harmoniously in this northern side a little bit and leave everyone else to fight it out. NIP clearly have really good vision down that road because they managed to knock one of the Razor Edge players, and they've just done it again towards M19, so they have very good vision on this. DA not really getting involved in much yet. Finally, we see Mert actually leave the compound, do a bit of damage. They have to move north. Now, I wonder if Vitality, the remainder of Unity, or maybe whatever's left of M19 will pressure them. For now, it does look like Tizerin is going to slow down Vitality's roll.
DA have been very, very quiet in this one. They do have an AWM, you saw on the back of one of the players. Silencer on the front, level 3 gear on the back. Let's see if they can make any use of it. We've seen Arms picked up many a time, but actually not put to good use at all, because as soon as you get one, you become a beacon for everyone just to home in on and complete you. Sixmo's actually copped the players of M19 over on the west. He's out on the roadside. Mert also gives in the information. 3 times all kind of do the job, but again, it's them that have to make the move.
This is the terrain that's hard, Rich. You're looking at it right in front of you. Vitality have the high ground.
On his own.
And a Beautiful Death did push up, but he's been spotted, he's been noted, he's been tagged up, he's down a little low. Iroh's been pushed back as well. It's a bit of a pinch for DA, and they're struggling to really break through cleanly. There goes Jazza, going to take down a Beautiful Death. Isolated him, but now can they spot Iroh out? He was slightly further away, but the nade is right. They can kind of read this. The blue's going to start causing a bigger problem for Iroh. He has to move forward, still has utility. The nade's his next option. Going to drop that one up and over, but he needs to find a way forward, and the Wanderer and Constantine are trying to make this difficult for them. But luckily, NIP are helping out. Now, here comes those tags. That's Nasus overreaching, maybe a touch there. Going to have to fall back, look for another option.
Really good work from Jazza there, just to hold the line, not overextend and die for no reason. M19, on the other hand, they'll happily take what's left, the damage from DA, and they're going to get split between 2 teams. Who can tag them first? M19's gone. So now they know they only have to deal with 1 team. However,
yeah, but look at Gaxi.
The danger here that you won't see unless you're looking on the map. FaZe Clan have split. They've overextended. Fuzzface and Mexi on the hillside behind Vitality, and they've no idea they're here. Yeah,
let's have a look. Please swing over towards Fuzzface and Mexi. Let's see what angle they have. It's a good one, but they get noted. They get spotted. This is smart. This is quick reads. I do not mind this at all. And NIP are doing something very nice as well. If FaZe Clan mess this up, they are in danger. Jazza and Shadow go down. Fuzzface needs to do the damage, and he's doing well. He's done more than enough. Surely he can get Mexi back up, or is it too late for Mexi? Did he just go down? No, he's still standing. Maybe there's a chance for a pickup here.
There's potential that he's just going to let him heal up, put the smokes down, crawl to him and get the res, or the call might come through that we need defensive help. NIP are here. You've already seen the grenades in hand, so at least for now, they'll be committing all their utility to this fight, and it will be for absolutely nothing. Health back up, smokes down, reses come through on both sides. Now the question is, what do FaZe do? Do they commit themselves to the fight for NIP? Or do they follow up what's left? I'm sure Fuzzface will now say to Mexi, stay there, brother. Don't come down the hill, because if you do, there is death waiting for you. I'm
surprised they focused on the Vitality fight rather than dealing with NIP. That nade from Uber. Out of nowhere, NIP get a taste of their own medicine. I am a little surprised at FaZe deciding that that Eastern push was the more critical one rather than the NIP one. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them, because now look at Miraku's position, Gaxi's position. They're in prime spots. Uber is about to light this floor on fire. Looks for MBS, can't get a glimpse. Now they have to work out of the compound, and NIP hold very good positions.
It was a perfect bounce, cooked to perfection, hits him in the face. A complete curveball in the works here. It wasn't a smoke, but it's acted as a smoke in the fact that it's distracted them enough to get Fuzzface back on his feet. So FaZe Clan can continue forward as a 4. Miraku is center of the map, holding an off angle. There is an answer back, though. You need to be aware of these. And now they know where he is. They can just keep on pushing. Grenades go down. ENCE holding an angle in the blue.
This could work out for Vitality more than anything. They're sitting back letting these two brutes just take chunks out of each other.
Oh, they're still coming in.
Yeah, next nade comes through. 18 needs to stay on his toes. Now, we know it's centralizing up. This is going to be a brutal battle between these two. None of them are really going to play central yet. It looks like they're starting to lean that way. NIP falling off this one. The kill was confirmed. They know that FaZe are down to 3. Vitality still have 2 in the south. So Vitality have a bit, you know, they're the dark horses in this. NIP have 4 players standing. But can FaZe get a pick anytime soon, or will they open up themselves towards Vitality?
FaZe have the issue that they have to come down. They're going to be exposed, but NIP have the issue on the opposing side that Vitality have repositioned and can basically punch them in the backside. This will be a crossfire. If FaZe get word of this, if FaZe feel lucky, they might just push onto NIP and it'll be collateral damage.
Go now. They have to go now. They've seen the knock. They know they need to go now. This is the time. This is the place. Vitality are still being a nuisance. NIP, though, spin on a dime. And look at that
nice
spray from VOD. Mexi and ENCE just no longer stand. Miracu's still here, and NIP doing damage. Holding this one down. They're dealing with everyone and everyone front. And FaZe have fallen. They could not do anything. Maybe misreading the play by going for Vitality when the real threat was always going to be NIP. And now they smother the circle. Just Jazza standing in front of them. 1 man against 4. Very unlikely. And it is NIP. What a win from them.
Very good hold at the bottom of the hill.